Welcome, everybody out there in the internet land, to episode 56 of Sis and Big Pop's Culture.
Woo!
Those of you who are following along at home, this is episode 56. I am Big Pops, aka Todd Turner, escorted, accompanied by the
Are you going to
newly
say,
engaged.
did you say mosaic fan art?
No.
Okay,
I am mosaic fan art.
Do you want to say that?
Yes, I'm Big Pops and Mosaic Fan Art. Okay. And accompanied by my cohort in crime, the newly engaged.
Woo! Yes. Hi, friends. I am newly engaged. I'm Sis, aka Hannah Jo, and together we're an adult daughter and father duo. We dive into all things geek, nerd, and fandom. Every episode is family friendly.
Well, that start was a little off kilter.
That was an interesting little nugget. Well, last time you were like, I didn't say mosaic fan art. And then I realized that I interrupted you saying that I was engaged, and I was like, dang it, my time to shine.
Your time to shine. For those of you watching online, show off the bling, Hannah.
Bling, bling,
for those
bling.
not watching, it's a ring. So
it's It's a ring.
With a sparkly stone in it.
It is a pretty phenomenal ring.
It's
a pretty phenomenal ring. Okay, I'm fine.
I agree. That's
fine.
all right.
I'm going to stop flashing.
That's nerd news. There you go. So, Hannah, tell them what we do.
Yes. Here. So, friends, hey, thanks for hanging out with us. We are going to do a couple different things today. We are going to talk some nerd news, stuff that, by man, is no means exhaustive, but is things that we are enjoying learning about that are popping up in nerd news that we think that
and
you
if
might
we don't think it's interesting,
cool
we
too.
Won't even talk about it.
Right on.
You might think it's cool. Okay, What else we do?
We're going to go over what we've been watching. What we've been binging, if we've been binging anything. And we're also going to, you're going to share a pull list with us. If you don't know what that is, don't worry. We're going to go over a comic. We're going to go over the 6-issue run of Clear, which is it Comixology
original. If you have
Phenomenal.
Amazon Prime, you can read it for free.
We'll explain that to you when we get there as well. We are doing Rotten Raspberry today.
Right.
And so Dad is going to spoil me for Obi-Wan Kenobi, and I'm going to spoil him for the new Baz Luhrmann film, Elvis.
Well, thank you. Well, thank you very much, Hannah. So let's just get right into it.
Woo!
Yes, spoilers all around. Let's get into the nerd news time. It's just in. Hannah, what do you got?
Have you seen the picture of Ryan Gosling as Ken in this new upcoming Barbie movie?
No. I know there's a Barbie movie coming out, but I have not seen.
I have no idea what it's about, and I have no idea what's going to happen, but I am so excited for this Barbie movie.
That is so funny.
It's Margot Robbie.
I know. It'll go down just right up there with The Notebook.
You think?
I doubt it. No, Ryan Gosling was in The Notebook.
Oh. So. Well, do you know they picked him because they thought that girls weren't going to find him attractive, that they were going to think he was scruffy?
What, in The Notebook?
Yeah.
Good looking fella.
He's a handsome man.
I don't even remember who the girl was in it.
Rachel McAdams.
Rachel McAdams. Oh, yeah. I remember now. There was some type of SNL song. I love
Rachel McAdams.
Yeah.
She's a phenomenal actress.
No, I haven't seen it. That seems like something. I'd tell you what I did see is that Zachary Levi, Shazam.
I like him.
And Gina Rodriguez. Wasn't she Jane the Virgin?
I like her. She was Jane the Virgin.
So they are set to star in a new upcoming Spy Kids movie.
Remember when we went and watched Spy Kids 4 at the movie tavern?
I liked Spy Kids.
I think about that sometimes.
And this is a Robert Rodriguez movie. And from what I can tell, it was hard to check the synopsis, but I think they are the grown-up kids.
Really?
I think so. And somehow someone has accidentally given out something to a video game developer, and he wants to take over the world. And so
what I'm hearing you say is it is a remake of Spy Kids 2 Game Over, but with grown-ups.
I don't know. I hope not. No, because in that movie actually went into the video.
They went into the video game to save the grandpa, and the grandpa came. The grandpa came and he could walk.
Yeah, Ricardo Montalban.
Zachary Levi, and what's her name?
Gina Rodriguez.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was just so excited to hear about your news. I didn't write it down.
Isn't that cool? I think it's fun. I also saw where Nerf now has a mascot called Murph. M-U-R-P-H.
Nerf.
So, okay, this is I was like, this is sort of a weird looking mascot. Imagine taking all those Nerf bullets. You know what I'm talking about?
No,
I
hate it already.
Nerf bullets.
I hate it already.
And like, it's like a creature entirely covered by hair, but it looks like Nerf bullets all over the whole entire body.
I hate it so much.
I was like,
that's cursed. Why did you tell us about that?
I don't know. I saw that and I thought, why would you do that? Why do they even need a mascot? Murph, the Nerf mascot.
I'm unknown about that. I'm mad you told us.
Whenever I hear Murph now, I just think of Interstellar. So because that was his daughter's name.
That movie's so
Murph.
good.
Yeah, it was good.
They are okay. I got a lot of like sequel news.
Well, go ahead. I'll listen. I have no sequel news.
Sequels except for, that we didn't ask for.
Okay. Like what?
Hocus Pocus 2.
Okay, so listen. There are a lot of people out there that love this movie.
That are Hocus Pocus stans. Like, we'll fight you about Hocus Pocus.
What the heck does that mean?
That means that Stan is to mean to be like such a big fan of something that you love it so much. It's become a part of our vernacular. It's from an Eminem song called Stan where a fan goes crazy.
Okay, not my vernacular. But anyway.
Well, sorry that you're not hip with it,
I'm not a
Dad.
Hocus Pocus guy, but there are a lot of people are. And they were looking at the teaser today.
Hocus Pocus 2, September 30th.
Yeah, dose. But I think it's just going to be directly on Disney+.
I was looking at it and I was like, why are they doing this?
Did you ever see the first one?
Yeah.
Never did.
I watched it.
Mm-hmm.
I watched it in my adulthood. I watched it maybe 2 years ago. So maybe that's part of it. I have no nostalgia for the movie. And I'm just kind of like, why you got to do this? You don't got to do this.
You. Well, I think what they're doing now is that a lot of these people that are going to be watching this have kids.
Yeah.
So they were kids when they watched it.
People my age to buy Disney Plus.
I don't know. Or just to something to watch with their children and have nostalgia.
Just watch Hocus Pocus.
Well, I guess you could. It is on Disney Plus, isn't it?
I don't know. I'm not trying to be negative Nancy about it. I was flipping through my news and I was like, why?
Well, I mean, it's got a huge following. So
it does. I get it. There are a lot of hardcore Hocus Pocus stans.
Stan Lees.
No, Stan. Like I stand that.
Stand in the place where you. Oh well. Anyway. Go ahead. I'm listening.
That's all I have left is stuff about sequels.
Go ahead. Give me another sequel.
Firehouse. This actually sounds cool. It's a Ghostbusters Afterlife next one. It's called Firehouse, and it takes place in New York City.
I never saw the new one.
You didn't watch Ghostbusters Afterlife?
No.
It was really good.
Because I got a life. I don't need it after.
It was really good.
Okay, well, good. I mean, I'm interested in watching it, but as of right now, I haven't even seen it, so I don't even know why I would even go see the next one.
You should go watch Ghostbusters Afterlife. Like, it actually was an enjoyable Ghostbusters movie.
I'll watch it when it comes on some streaming service, if it ever does. It'll probably come out on Paramount because we don't got it.
That was released. It's the Firehouse, the new movie. It's coming out. It's going to be released 2023, December 20th. So I think they're hoping that's going to be a
Christmas movie. Yeah. Gotcha.
Which again, getting the nostalgia of the generation who enjoyed Ghostbusters, the original, with the people who enjoyed Ghostbusters Afterlife with Finn Lockhart, the actor on Stranger Things, getting people to go watch it.
I got you.
Very clever. Very clever.
All right. Well, here's sort of some sequel news that's not really sequel news, but we all know that Indiana Jones 5 is coming out.
I think I knew that.
Yeah, you knew it. I'm sure you did. But John Williams, the film composer who Star Wars, Indiana Jones, this is his last film score that he will be doing. He's 90 years old.
Oh, man.
So he said this would be the final film that he scores, that he'll compose for.
I'm going to have to watch it.
He will continue to do music, make music, but it will no longer be film scores. And like I said, the dude's 90. So take a break, man. And here's the deal. This coming weekend, if you're in Louisville over the 4th of July weekend, Louisville, Kentucky, they are doing Return of the Jedi at the Louisville Symphony, and the symphony is playing the music live. So I went and saw Empire Strikes Back, which is my favorite Star Wars.
Yeah, it's your favorite one.
Yeah. So anyway, yeah.
So, aw.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, one more piece of news.
All right, I got one after that. Go ahead.
There's a new show that's coming on Disney Plus. It's called Our Time.
Oh, this is one of mine. Let's go with it.
And it is a TV show that's inspired by the Goonies.
Right.
And it is about a group of kids who are shooting the Goonies shot by themselves.
Right, but it's scripted.
But it's a show. It's a TV show.
Okay.
So it's not like a docuseries. It's a TV show. And I think from the article that I read, it was based off of like a teacher was the narrator, like the teacher who's helping them.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's like a school project or something.
Yeah.
So this really happened when I was young with the original Indiana Jones.
That's what I was reading. That like this was things that kids actually did.
They say kids, but they were older kids. I mean, they were probably, I don't know, they were middle school, high school, sort of like Super 8 type deal.
Dude.
I liked that movie.
We watched that movie after I got home from getting my wisdom teeth removed.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I just remember being like, is this real life?
It was weird, yeah. So, but that's what they did. They shot Indiana Jones,
shot for shot.
And, yeah. So, and I think you could probably catch that somewhere because I don't think they ever finished it and then they went back and finished it or something like that. I don't know. It's an interesting thing. Yeah, that was my last bit of news that I had.
Oh, this is just a piece of news that I just remembered that I think you might think is cool. The Fifth Element's 25th anniversary is coming up soon. And they...
Okay. No, that's not thing. That's
Coben,
man. Instead, I was doing Lethal Weapon, Joe Pesci, instead of Chris Tucker's Ruby Rod.
But it's going to be
got no fire.
It's going to be at select Regal Cinemas, so you could go watch it in the theaters if you wanted to.
That would be fun. Yes, that might be fun.
I thought that you'd think that's cool.
I love Fifth Element.
I know you do.
Unapologetically love Fifth Element.
It's a good movie.
It's a terrible movie.
I love it.
But it's
Maybe
so great.
I love it because you were like, this movie's great. And I'm like, okay.
I love it. Yeah. I think the dude was like 18 when he wrote that book or movie or whatever.
I enjoyed watching it.
Yeah. So what have you been
binging?
Watching?
Okay.
Yeah.
Have you seen the hype on Netflix about Keep Sweet, Pray and Obey, the docuseries about FLDS?
Yes. What is? Yes, but I didn't watch it because
I watched it.
Yeah,
it's 4 episodes. Each is about an hour long. It is for grown-ups, and it goes through some pretty horrifying things that people experienced.
Gotcha.
And man, it was interesting to watch.
Yeah, I started because Alyssa talked about it at.
Really? I didn't hear her talk about it.
So I logged it into my Netflix to check out, and I watched the trailer, and I was like, it seems pretty heavy for me.
It's very heavy. It's heavy. But I really enjoyed it. It was interesting to learn about. But I'm a person who enjoys docuseries.
Got you.
Give me a random obscure docuseries about a thing that I know nothing about, and I will watch it all. Like I used to watch Blackfish on the treadmill when I was training for the half marathon.
What's Blackfish?
Is that not what it's called? It's the documentary about SeaWorld.
Oh, maybe. I don't know.
I used to watch that documentary over and over again when I was running on the treadmill because I just thought it was so fascinating. I was like, what is this?
So that's on Netflix, and that's for adults.
It's on Netflix.
It's 4 episodes.
Started watching Sing 2.
The movie. Gotcha.
Didn't finish there. We got 20 minutes left.
Gotcha.
Haven't finished
Well,
that.
they win.
There's nothing for them to win.
Well, they do. They win it anyway.
They win it anyways. And almost finished with, we have one more episode of season 2 of Stranger Things.
All right.
So then they're going to start season 3 and then 4 and then 4 part A, 4 part 2 because part 2 comes out Friday.
Wait, did you just say 4.A and 4.2?
I don't know.
You mixed your
Letters and
thingies.
numbers. But
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. I think that's all. I'm trying to, again, if y'all got a show for me to watch, your girl would enjoy having a show to watch. I started rewatching season 2 of Westworld.
Gotcha.
And I'm just like, I remember why I stopped watching season 2
And
of
that's
Westworld.
on HBO.
Yeah.
Correct. HBO Max.
Yeah,
HBO,
because season 4 just came out and I was like, well, maybe I'll like it again.
Yeah. I am. So I'm back in the basement working on a mosaic.
Yeah, Usagi
So
Yojimbo.
when I do that, I can usually put something on. And all of the Alien movies are on Hulu. So I started from the beginning and went straight through Aliens, which is great.
We
the James
reviewed
Cameron,
Alien.
the first one. Yeah, Aliens, Sigourney Weaver's more of a bad mamma jamma. She takes things into her own hands. She's definitely the star of that. Alien 3 is all right. Alien 4 is terrible. Horrible. And then I was like, I think I'll watch the Prometheus, but instead, Dodgeball. I watched Dodgeball. So
If you can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a ball.
you can dodge a ball. Patches a hula hand. So yeah, so those are all on Hulu.
Dodgeball is also on Netflix, or it was.
Maybe I watched that on Netflix. I can't remember. Anywho, yeah, that's what I watched. Those are all adulty things. And if you really like Aliens, is probably the best sci-fi horror movie ever. Aliens is just changes the genre altogether, and probably one of the first movies to have a real strong, powerful female lead.
And if you want to hear us talk about it, we have an episode where we review Alien.
Yeah. Speaking of strong female leads, they're bringing Titanic back out to the theater next year.
What for?
I don't know. Maybe it's like the 700th anniversary. I don't know.
Not the 700th anniversary.
I have no idea.
Man. Because I was wondering why there was a lot of like newly focused Titanic memes on my Facebook and Instagram.
I think they're just trying to get people to come back to the movie theater, honestly.
Well, I don't want to go watch that in the theaters. I've never finished the movie all the way through.
Oh, I did. Man, I thought your mom and I were the last two to see it in the theater. We saw it at the Dollar Theater. And I remember I had to pee so bad. And I was like, this movie is 18 hours long. So, anywho. Yeah.
I'm trying to think. The Dollar Theater is gone now.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
The Dollar Theater's gone. Makes my
But
heart sad.
still go
I
see
used to
movies pretty-
love going to the Dollar Theater.
Yeah, they weren't making any money. I guess.
Yeah, it's because it was $1.
Yeah, but they make money off popcorn.
Well,
That's where you make your money. When they charge you $70 for popcorn in a large pop, a 2-liter of Sprite, and a
I
bucket
paid
of popcorn.
$6 for a Sprite at the movie theater the other day.
Oh, snap. That's more than I pay for a ticket in a matinee here. That's a lot of money.
Woo!
You could sneak in your own drink.
Well,
Not
I
that
sneak
would
in
say
my
do
own
that.
candy. I don't feel bad
Oh,
about
well.
that. They know.
So, yeah,
they know.
so-
they know we doing that.
I know it.
You can't tell me they don't know that.
What I really binged, we'll talk about in a little bit, because I watched all the episodes of Obi-Wan.
Tally ho.
Kenobi.
Tally ho!
So, yeah. So, Hannah,
Yes.
I got 24 comic books when I went to the comic book shop.
Shoot, dang. Yeah, because you didn't go last Wednesday because you were doing stuff.
I know. So I got bukus of comics. There were so many good comic books over the last 2 weeks. So what we're going to talk about now.
What are you going to do? How many
So
are
this
we
is
going to get?
We're just going to do what we do. We're going to do
111? Are we going to do
111 and
3, your new number 1 in your book of the week?
yeah. So how many is that supposed to be?
That's 5.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah,
Yes.
that's right. That's what I've got.
Yeah,
I can't tell what I've got.
I told you.
I'm
I said
there are
that's 5.
yes.
And
So
I
what
sounded
do is
country when I said that too. I was like, that's 5.
we're going to talk about some comic books from my pull list, which is
Woo!
a list of comics that I have at my local comic book shop, and which is Heroes Realm there in Lexington. Stephen and Beth, shout out to them. Great folks. They pull comic books for me and put them back, and I go pick them up. So what we're going to start out today is this is an independent from Image Comics.
Ooh, Image is my favorite.
This is called Radiant Red.
Okay.
It is a mini series. This is issue 4 of 5. So the penultimate issue.
What does that word mean?
Fancy word for next to last.
But where is it from?
I have no idea. I just hear people say it, so I thought it would be really cool for me to pick this book and say.
I mean, it was really cool that you said that, which is why I asked. Like, I wanted to know.
I don't know
like,
the etymology of the word.
origins.
Etymology?
You used another fancy word.
I'm an entomologist.
I don't.
Would you know what the etymology of entomology? What? Anyway.
I think you're making things up now.
I am now. An entomologist is a bug guy.
Yep.
Or woman, bug person. So Radiant Red is. There was a comic book that came out called Radiant Black, which is about a guy who touches a black hole and then gets these superpowers.
Yes, because
right?
you had talked about Radiant. You had talked about it before.
Right. So it's been really cool. And Radiant Black was great this time around. Plus, in the Radiant Black, they had a QR code that if you scanned it, they have an 5-minute animated short.
That's
which
sick.
is really cool.
That's really fun.
It is fun. So Radiant Red was a villain that Radiant Black came into, but you come to find out later on in the series that she was robbing banks because her fiance has a gambling problem and is in trouble with like the gangs or mobs. So she was stealing money to save her. So now she is getting the repercussions of her doing that because she's not a bad person. But
yeah, there are repercussions when you just rob banks willy-nilly.
Yeah, she did. Yeah, she robbed a bank willy-nilly in her own neighborhood. So,
ooh, poor choice.
So this is interesting. She's been hired by a group to go help them do another heist, and then they would clear her. Then she would be clear and free, but they turn on her at the end, and she gets kidnapped, or gets captured by the bad guys. So next issue's the end. I really enjoy this book because you see this girl. She really wants to get out. And just the keeping secrets from her fiance, or I can't tell if they're fiance or husband or whatever. And how he really is going to he's going to a like an AA meeting for gamblers, like Gamblers
Anonymous. Yeah, they
so
have. I was going to say because I was like, he needs help,
and he's getting help. And he asks her to come to I guess they have a meeting where a family can come, and she doesn't show up because she's doing this other thing to try to clear her name for where she stole money to try to help him out. So it's just really, it's tough on him. Yeah. So, yeah. So anyway, Radiant Red, really good. Yeah.
Okay.
So
issue 4 of 5.
4 or 5. This is another mini series. This is from DC Comics. This is issue 2 of 6, a limited series. For those of you who don't know, limited series are just they'll tell an entire story in 2 to 6 or 1 to 12 or whatever, and then they stop.
Say sometimes they're like 10, sometimes it's 12. But y'all,
sometimes it's 3.
That's a year.
Yeah, it is. So this
that's
is 6 months.
That's a year
this
of
is
collecting a comic book.
This is called the Jurassic League, not the Justice League.
Man,
it is like Batman
Conan?
and Superman. No, and Wonder Woman. They're all dinosaurs. So these are dinosaurs with dinosaurs with superpowers, and they're still cavemen that are humans. And there's this one little caveman who is following this Batman pterodactyl. No, not even a pterodactyl. I don't even know what kind of dinosaur he is. But Wonder Woman's a Triceratops, Wonder Dawn, and there's Supersaurus, which is Superman, which is really funny because
Dad.
He was raised by cavemen, so he speaks caveman and dinosaur. So anyway, it is written by Daniel Warren Johnson, who did the Wonder Woman Dead Earth that I love, and Beta Ray Bill. So it's drawn by another person named Gideon or Gideon. I don't know how to pronounce it, but anyway, it's still that over the top, wild looking art, and it's sort of funny. The whole entire thing. I mean, it's fun, and they're fighting these villains who are like there's the Jokerzilla, who's the Joker character.
That's awesome. The Jurassic League.
The Jurassic League.
Dead.
And the art is great.
That's so fun.
I know. So my first Marvel book is Amazing Spider-Man issue 4. They started Spider-Man over again at issue 1. And something happened to where Spider-Man has done something that everyone is now sort of against him. Like, this is issue 4.
Okay.
Yeah, so Mary Jane is like got a
Hates
new
him?
fella and he's got 2 kids. They call her mom. I don't know. It's weird.
Uh-oh.
But the book has been really good. In this issue, we're getting a wrap up. There's a villain called Tombstone, whose daughter, he's a villain. He's been a villain, a Spider-Man
I was
villain
going
for
to
a
say,
long
I
time.
know that name. I know Tombstone.
And his daughter is a super villain. She's the Beetle. And his daughter is in love with, so there's J. Jonah Jameson. His second in command was Robbie Robertson. And then when J. Jonah got kicked out of the Daily Bugle, Robertson took it over, and he has a son. So his son and the blue girl who's the Beetle are now engaged. So it's pretty interesting. And there's a whole lot of stuff going on in this book because I don't know if I talked to you about Devil's Reign, where Kingpin is now gone.
Yes.
So there's no Kingpin in New York. It's like a power vacuum. So
I was going to say, which is not good.
So Tombstone wants it. And his biggest person that's against him is called the Rose, which is really Kingpin's son in real life. What happens is he sets up like he's going to kill Spider-Man, but Spider-Man gets loose and he thinks he's at Tombstone's headquarters and he beats the snot out of everybody only to find out that he is not. He is actually at the Rose's place and he does all of Tombstone's work for him. So he takes out one of the other mob people that Tombstone wants gone. He makes Spider-Man think that he is in Tombstone makes Spider-Man think that Spider-Man is in Tombstone's complex. And so Spider-Man busts out to go whip up on Tombstone and he beats up all these bad guys only to find out that he was actually in the Roses complex and Tombstone put him there so that he would take out one of his competitors. So he actually just did the bidding of a bad guy without even knowing it. So it's really good. But so
Spooky.
It is a little bit crazy. So yeah. So there you go. So my new number 1 this week is, and actually I bought an extra book and gave it to Mr. Spencer because I know he loves big time wrestling. It's called Do a Power Bomb. And this is by Image Comics. This is issue 1. This is written and drawn also by my guy, Daniel Warren Johnson. And this follows a young girl whose mom was like a amazing big time wrestler. She's like, was the winner of the belt. And in a title match, there's an accident and her opponent slips and accidentally her mom.
Oh no.
Yeah. So,
and that's choreographed.
And this, yes, right. And he even says, "Oh no," because he knows it's happened before it happens. So she's 10. So then we go forward 10 more years and no one will train her she wants to be a wrestler so bad, but her dad has asked everybody not to train her because I don't want to lose you like I lost your mom, which by telling everyone that basically he loses her because she's like, she doesn't want to be around her dad because
you're not letting me be my own person or make my own choices.
Right. Exactly.
Why, man, that's such a trope.
But it's really, so what happens is
it makes a lot of sense.
Right. It gets even better because she comes out of a match that she'd been doing herself, even though nobody will train her. And so she gets beat and there's another promoter of wrestling who you come to find out it sounds an awful lot like the devil. And he's like, I'll train you and you can be part of my tournament. And the winner is, we'll find out how to bring your mom back to life.
Oh, I hate it.
I know it. So it's like Mortal Kombat.
That's like Devil Went Down to Georgia. He's looking for a soul to steal.
Yes, exactly. It's like the Crossroads or whatever. So I have a feeling this is going to be a little mini series.
No.
The art is fantastic, and I'm going to be.
That's cool though.
So my next book is the book of the week.
Book of the week. It's the book of the week.
This is an issue 1 by Aftershock Comics.
Okay, lots of independence.
Yeah. Today, I know. It was a struggle because there were some really good ones. Like DC had, and I thought about doing Aquaman Andromeda, which is really cool. It's an oversized black label, really awesome. And then there's Dark Crisis, issue 1 came out.
On Infinite Earth.
Well, sort of, yeah. So this is Astronaut Down. You come to find out
Astronaut Down!
That's what it's called, Astronaut Down, issue 1. And I'm collecting this too, so I'll be collecting this one. And there are these people that are they're training to be astronauts, and they're going to choose 3. And this is the Earth's hope because it's, again, the end of the world. There's some type of like radiation. I can't understand it. I have a weird word for it. It's like a plague, but it's like radiation waves that comes in or something. So there's only like 13 inhabitable cities now. And they've got these walls that right.
Oh, is it like the sun has like.
They call it a cancer. But it's like a, I don't know. It's hard to explain.
Is it that the sun has come too close to the earth and it's made the earth?
I don't know. They haven't really said.
Okay, because Trevin's reading a comic right now where the sun is too close to the earth and it makes the earth inhabitable at certain times of the day and burns everything.
No, I haven't. This isn't it.
Okay.
So these people are training to be astronauts, and because they're going to save the planet.
Thank you.
Yes, and
save our planet, please.
They choose the 3, and they launch the ship. And it's not really an astronaut ship. It's not a space thing. I was completely caught off guard. They are trying to find alternate realities to send all these other people into their own.
Okay, I was going to say
being in an alternate universe.
It sounded like Interstellar.
This is not Interstellar because they're not going to another planet. They're going into the same planet in a different multiverse, in a different dimension. Like. It's like a multiverse thing. So he like wakes up and he is eating dinner with his wife who's dead. So at the end I was like, what?
I hate that.
I know, because then what happens to the people that they displaced? You know what I'm saying?
I'm just saying.
And what are they going to do with everybody else on the entire planet?
And the Multiverse of Madness.
Yeah, I didn't like that movie. And you can watch it for free now on Disney Plus.
Yeah, that's because it was bad.
So I'm so intrigued of where this is going because the art is really cool. It's a neat premise. It's definitely something I'm going to have to go back and reread to even catch more. But yeah, Astronaut Down. There's some good books.
Interesting.
There were a whole bunch of really good ones, but those are the only ones I mentioned. So.
Do you want me to Rotten Raspberry you since you just shared about your comics?
Sure. So everybody, Hannah is going to talk about the Elvis movie. He's going to give us the lowdown on the Elvis movie that just came out. Stars Tom Hanks and
Austin Butler.
Austin Butler. And so if you don't want to know about the movie, tune in. I got a feeling it'll be all right. I think, he makes music and then he dies of a heart attack on the toilet.
It's Elvis, y'all.
Thank you very much. Thank you. So if you need to leave, Elvis has left the building. Elvis is everywhere. Go, Hannah, tell me about it.
It was directed by Baz Luhrmann.
I don't know who that is.
Baz Luhrmann has a very distinct style of directing.
I got you.
Baz Luhrmann did Moulin Rouge.
Oh, okay. Which I really like that.
Baz Luhrmann did Strictly Ballroom.
I didn't see that. I know a lot of people liked it.
And Romeo plus Juliet. One of my favorite retellings.
Which I never saw that either.
Which is one of my favorite retellings of Romeo and Juliet, which you should watch because it is very good.
All right.
So he has a very distinct style of directing, and it's very
got you. You can
fantastical.
definitely
like, you know what I
understand.
mean?
I understand.
And
Yeah, there are just some directors or producers or whatever that have a
that
style.
have a
You know
certain
it's them.
style, yeah.
Just about,
And so
like
it
Sam
made,
Raimi or Tim Burton.
it made a lot of sense that he decided to do the Elvis, because that's very much
Well, he likes music.
in his vein.
Wheelhouse.
Yeah. It felt very appropriate. It is really interesting. It's really long. So it's like 2-ish hours, 2.5-ish hours. It's a long movie.
Wow. Okay.
It was paced very well. So it did not feel very long. The pacing made a lot of sense, and it just kind of moved you along the story at like a bit of sometimes at more of a rapid clip, but it just kind of moved you along the story really well.
Okay.
The thing that I thought was really interesting was that it was Hamilton-esque in that the narrator was the quote unquote villain of the story.
Which was the producer, which was Tom Hanks' character?
Which is Tom Hanks' character. The Colonel.
Yes.
I don't know much about Elvis. I don't know much about Elvis.
Is that what you learned from it?
I learned a lot about Elvis.
I remember when he died. I remember when he died.
I learned a lot about Elvis in this movie, Dad. And man.
Well, did you? Is it true?
A lot of it is true. The thing that, bug.
I have Elvis trading cards.
The thing
and
that
I
made
have papers when he died.
The thing that made me really sad was how much his manager just abused him.
In what regards?
Like truly.
Just took advantage of him? Or?
Yeah. Yeah. Elvis is
money cow.
He was a money cow. And Elvis wanted to be done. So Elvis really wanted to go overseas and do an international tour, but his manager was a man without a country. Like he didn't have a passport and he wasn't from America. And so he didn't have any sort of nationality.
So he couldn't go anywhere. And so basically got Elvis. Where was he from?
At Poland, I think.
Really?
But it was never stated 100%.
Okay.
In the movie, I didn't do outside research. In the movie, it wasn't 100% stated. But everything that he did was to keep Elvis in the States so that he could make money off of him.
Okay. Gotcha.
And it was really sad.
So did it follow his discovery to his death?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Discovery to death. Parts
of Priscilla, was she in it?
Priscilla was in it. Priscilla had a role in it. It went his entire career. So the major points
Talk
were
about the movies he was in.
Him on Beale Street. Early in his career, going to clubs,
right.
Having like such an influence from his peers.
Did he ever get out from underneath him in this movie? Never did, huh?
He only did once. So one of the big plot points was like Beale Street and his coming into fame. Another of the plot points. For those of you just joining us,
we're talking about Elvis, the Elvis movie.
Another of the big plot points was him going to Germany to be part of the war, which is where he met Priscilla. And then him coming back and doing movies. That was a plot point. There was a really long segment of his comeback to music when they recorded the special. Because they did a special on TV, and that was supposed to be a Christmas special. The Colonel had like done advertisements with like a self-knitting company, and he was supposed to wear a Christmas sweater. And it was supposed to be like a Christmas special. And Elvis was like, I'm not doing this. I want to work with these other people. I want to come back into music. We're going to do our own thing. And he came out of his thumb a little bit there, and then they kind of bolstered his confidence. And then what ended up happening with his run at the International was that the Colonel, his manager, had such bad gambling debts that the owner of the International was like, hey, we'll pay you $1 million. We'll pay Elvis $1 million every day, every time that he's here. And while he's here, you have you can have an unlimited line of credit here at our casino. And so the Colonel was like, you're just going to stay here in Vegas.
Gotcha.
And man, drugged him up.
Really?
Yeah.
So you don't think Elvis had the drugs he didn't choose that himself?
How it was portrayed in the movie, again, I've done no outside research. I know nothing about Elvis.
Gotcha.
The movie portrayed it, the biopic portrayed it as the Colonel just needed a dancing
sad.
monkey. Honestly, Dad, it was really sad.
I don't know that I want to watch that now.
It was beautiful. It was beautiful.
Yeah,
the art is phenomenal.
And Moulin Rouge has a terrible ending too.
Well, Moulin Rouge that's how that story ends. Like if it's that movie, if it's a musical, if it's a ballet, that's how that story ends. And Romeo and Juliet has a terrible ending too. Right?
And so does Hamilton. Everybody gets killed. What's the heck?
So I was
stop watching musicals.
I really enjoyed it. There was some stuff that another of the plot point was when they tried to like revamp Elvis's image, because he was on
heavy.
TV and like he danced like early on in his career when he was doing his dancing, and they wanted him to be family friendly, and they were like,
Ford taught him that.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
They said if you even wiggle a finger, you're going to jail, friend. And he gets up on stage and is just standing there, and he just wiggles his pinky finger and then starts singing.
Did he dance?
Yeah, he danced.
That's what I figured.
Yeah. So, I mean, I thought it was really interesting. Trevin and I were talking about it after we
Even La La
watched.
Land is sort of sad.
I mean, it's honest. La La Land is honest. We were talking about the movie after watching it, and I wonder how many people that happens to.
I know.
It was really devastating. Like I so hope.
You wonder about people.
I hope that everyone's okay. I hope people don't feel like that, because he felt very trapped.
I mean, they do, because look at like Britney Spears.
Yeah, and that's something that we talked about afterwards. I was like, man, like it's happening still.
And that's out in public, so who knows about people that aren't? I mean, people that completely fall apart.
Yeah. So how much of it is because he
Gosh, my haircut looks so good.
He did the international show based on the movie. He did the international show like at the Casino the International a couple different times. And then they were like, you know what, we'll have this doctor who will help you sleep, because he was too exhausted to do anything. And he was like, we'll make you fall asleep.
Uppers and downers. Get you to sleep and keep you awake.
That's what they did to him.
Gotcha.
And they had a certain doctor that they were like, Dr. So-and-so. And he's like,
I mean, it sounds an awful lot like, because that's what happened to like Johnny Cash in the Walk the Line movie, the drugs, man.
Yeah.
Kids, don't do them. Stay away from them.
I do think he was taking some drugs beforehand, because they one of his bandmates offered him a pill and he took it like early on in the show, in the movie. But I do think that
What was this rated?
It was PG-13.
PG-13? Okay.
I do think it reached an all-time high during that time. Again, this is one person's interpretation of a biopic of him. It is not a documentary. It's nothing like that. But I really enjoyed it.
Okay.
I mean, everybody knows the story of Elvis, right? Like he was excellent, brought all of this joy to people, and then the end of his life was very sad.
It was.
And so that's just kind of what the taste it left in my mouth. It was like, oh, that's really sad.
Okay. Well, I watched every episode of Obi-Wan on Disney Plus. I think there are 6 episodes, maybe 5. I can't remember.
Did you like it?
Did I like it?
Because I've heard people hate it.
I liked it
and think it's
didn't
okay.
Hate it. I don't know. I'm struggling with how to say it. I don't want to sound like an old curmudgeon, but you know what I'm saying?
I've heard that it fits in canon very poorly.
Well, so
because
really,
like the whole if he knows Leia, then he should know Leia.
It is a Princess Leia. So if you're just joining us, we're talking about Obi-Wan Kenobi now. It is a Obi-Wan Kenobi Princess Leia show with Darth Vader. So
that seems silly.
The issue, from what I read, is that this, and I don't know, maybe there'll be another season. There may be. was supposed to be a trilogies movie, an Obi-Wan trilogy. And they've decided to do it into a TV show. Now, does that mean there'll be another season? I don't know. But there is, the Inquisitors are out. They are scouring and
For the
capturing all the Jedi. And one girl, third sister, really has it out for Obi-Wan Kenobi. But you come to find out the only reason she has it out for Obi-Wan Kenobi, because she knows that with Obi-Wan Kenobi, if she captures him, she can get an audience with Vader, and she wants to kill Vader.
Well, we all know that ain't gonna happen.
She was a youngling
Oh no.
and saw him, and she played dead. And so
Well,
she
he was
lived.
not paying attention.
No. So that's why she wants to kill Vader. But she didn't call him Vader when she got to Obi-Wan. She called him Anakin. And he's like, how did you know he was named Anakin? That was when it became. So the issue is that she doesn't know that there's a connection between, or they just know that if they'll kidnap Leia, and that since Obi-Wan works so closely with Leia's dad, he'll contact Obi-Wan to come save Leia, and then they will get him.
That seems kind of
Okay.
far-fetched.
Well, the issue was kids in peril. So your mom was
Yeah.
like, do you think I could watch this? I'm like, no, this is a 10-year-old girl. They literally interrogate a 10-year-old girl. The only cool part about it was that I couldn't quite tell if they were trying to do the Force. You know how they do that. Tell me what you're thinking with the Force.
Yeah.
Of course, the Leia character, the girl was like just staring at her, and I was like, is she trying to do the Force on her? And the Leia character was like, is this a staring contest? the young girl who plays Princess Leia,
Is she doing a good job?
phenomenal. Not a
Awesome.
good job.
A phenomenal
An
job.
amazing job.
Awesome.
Amazing. I was like, she's so good, so spunky, and just like she was the best part. And one of the episodes was like a choreograph between Darth Vader is trying to capture Obi-Wan Kenobi, and it's a flashback to where Obi-Wan and Anakin were sword fighting, lightsaber fighting, and it's like this is
Practice dueling.
this is what he does. This is what he'll do in this situation, because
I taught him.
I know what he'd do. He can't quit. He won't give it up. He'll come for me because that's who he is. He won't stop, even though he could have crushed the rebellion at the very beginning of the formation of the rebellion. And instead, Obi-Wan left the group, and Darth Vader chose to follow Obi-Wan. But if he'd have followed and got rid of the group, the rebellion would have never been, because it was at the beginning of the rebellion. So I liked it. It just was weird.
It seems what you're saying seems to track with like what other people I've heard. Is like parts of it are cool, other parts of it are like what is happening, and people are just mainly left with a sense of question mark. Like what?
Yeah, and why is he?
What's happening?
He's like, Obi-Wan is working. He's got a job, and basically what happens is another Jedi comes to find Obi-Wan, and on Tatooine, so they capture that guy, and then, come to find out that they hear that somebody is staying with Uncle Owen, so they go after Luke at the end.
But they don't know that he's there.
They don't. They know now. Third sister does.
But they don't in...
Right.
You know what I mean?
So here's what happens.
Like some of it, I'm just like, how does it fit?
It does. What's hard for me to like was the fact that, when she in A New Hope, R2-D2 behind me shows up, and he's like, "You helped my father in the Clone War. You helped me, Obi-Wan Kenobi, your only hope."
Yeah, she would have
That
been like,
doesn't
"Yo, my
make
friend, help
sense.
me."
Exactly. That I didn't like. Unless, of course, something's going to happen. What are you going to do? Mind wipe a 10-year-old? I don't know. But as of right now,
They might.
Darth Vader knows he's alive. knows he's alive because he doesn't kill him. So I don't know unless
And
there's
like
going to be another
Luke being
season.
like old Ben Kenobi. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Well, he knows it's Ben Kenobi. He doesn't know. Yeah, old Ben that lives across the. Yes.
so I don't
as
know.
far as So this is 10 years afterwards. This is when it takes place. 10 years after Anakin becomes Darth Vader. And James Earl Jones does the voice. And Hayden Christensen is in the makeup.
does he? I've heard he looks very old.
Cut part of his. No, they cut part of his face. You know, he's all burnt and everything. But you see him. Yeah.
I mean, in the
makeup like
flashback
that.
scenes that he looks really not
He
good.
does look older. He looks older in the flashback scenes.
He looks not
does.
good in the flashback scenes. I've heard that. And they know how to
I
make it
noticed that. I
look
was like,
good.
Thank you very much.
They know how to make it
Thank you
look
very
good.
much. I know.
They must not have the budget for it.
So
Use the budget other ways.
Obi-Wan, I watched it. I watched every episode. I didn't like I don't know.
What would you give it? Would you like 3.5 stars, maybe 3 stars?
3, maybe 3.
I'd give Elvis 4.
I mean, Ewan McGregor. Let's bring it all back to Baz
he's a
Luhrmann,
great actor.
who was in Moulin Rouge.
Ewan McGregor's he's a great actor.
He was great, and I just the plot was what I struggled with.
Yeah, I've heard, it doesn't really make sense.
Third sister, I was like, it doesn't make sense. I thought she overacted, but anyway.
Well, okay. Are you
I don't know.
gonna finish out the series?
What do they say? Well, it's done.
It's finished.
It's finished unless there's going to be another season. Yeah. They called them, what did they call them? Star Wars fans. There was a word for them, like for being so mean. There's, because they can be so hard. Star Wars fans can be so hard. Star Trek fans aren't that way. Star Wars fans are.
Well,
Trek fans are okay with change.
Star Trek fans have had change from the very beginning.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
It's built into Star Trek.
It is. You're right. Star Wars is
not that. And there's a difference. There's a difference between film and TV.
right. I agree. And Star Trek started as TV.
Star Trek.
And lives on in TV.
And lives on in TV. And Star Wars was movies.
I wish we had Paramount.
You want to watch Picard and Discovery and
I want to watch Discovery. Heck yeah.
I've heard
and the new one.
Really good.
The new one. Like there's a new one. I can't remember the name of it. I want to watch it.
I've heard
with Pike and Spock. Yeah.
I've heard it's really, really good. That Star Trek Discovery is some of the best it's right on track with old Star Trek.
Yes. Anyway. Oh well. There you go. Obi-Wan Kenobi. It was all right.
Elvis was good.
Okay. Mine was all right. Yours was good.
Yeah.
So
good, because I didn't really want to watch Obi-Wan, Dad. I'm not gonna lie to you.
There was a bunch of stormtroopers in it in one part, and I thought, I wonder if those are all guys from the 501.
I hope
like in The Mandalorian. I hope they were too. I was like, that would be so bad if they were.
That'd be
good for
sick.
them. I know it.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
Get that bread, bud.
Yeah. Next time somebody asks you to come do something, I gotta go to the dentist.
I got a dentist.
Old Robbie needs me to move. I gotta get my pick-em-up truck. And then
sorry, y'all can't.
Oh, by the way, we were in
the Mandalorian.
Sorry, loser. I don't think they would call somebody a loser. I would be like, I'd be like, oh no. I'd be sick if one of my best friends chose to go do something and I was there and I was like, oh no. Oh, this is so bad. Anyway.
Well, you would have signed an NDA. You wouldn't be able to do anything until it got released.
I know.
Anyway.
And I'd be like,
you just be like, I can't talk to this friend for the rest of forever.
I'll be like, never see you.
Don't look at me.
I can't make anything. Anyway, Hannah and I also read a 6-issue comic series.
Yes.
It's called
Clear.
Comixology Original.
Yeah.
This is a comic book that is put out digitally on Comixology, which is also owned by Amazon, I believe. So there are some books that on Comixology that you have to pay for, or you can have a subscription, or you can buy individual issues. This book, put out by Scott Snyder and Francis Manapul, I'm probably butchering their name, was free if you have Amazon Prime. If you have Amazon Prime, you can read this on the Kindle app.
Yep.
For
And so you
free.
could do that either on your phone, you can do it on a tablet, you can do it if you have like an iPad or something like that, you can do that, or if you can just
do it on
download
my
the Kindle
phone.
app. I have an Amazon tablet, and so I just do it on that. And it's
I'm going to get a big iPad and just watch
are
it.
you? You've been
hope so.
talking about it. I hope that you get one, Dad. You've
Well,
been
Mom
talking
gave
about
me
it.
some Do-Re-Mi for Father's Day, but
Hey,
they're pretty pricey. So, anywho,
Do-Re-Mi. I'm dead.
yeah, it's a lot of Do-Re-Mi. So, Scott Snyder put out, and what happens with this book is it will be published by.
It'll come out as a trade.
No, they'll
It
probably
won't?
put out. We Have Demons came out as 3 comics
Oh.
through Dark Horse was the company
okay, cool.
that published them. So We Have Demons is another book Scott Snyder did through.
We reviewed those
Comixology.
too.
Yeah,
It was really
So
good.
It was really good. This was called.
We did, Dad. I just
What?
realized this. We reviewed We Have Demons twice, and we are now reviewing Clear twice.
Because we read the first issue.
Because we read the first
But now-
issue and really enjoyed it.
now
And
they're all
now the
out.
run is done.
So Hannah, give the
Crazy.
lowdown. What Clear is about?
Clear is it takes place in an alternate reality or an alternate
it's the future.
alternate future where
2042, I think. 2052.
where humans have implants for what they see. And you can put different code in your implants to make your vision be augmented in different ways. So if you want everything to be pink and fluffy, then everything's pink and fluffy. If you want everything to be green and lush,
What were they
and
called?
A forest.
They're called. There's a word for them. Oh, keep going. I'll find out what it was.
Then that's what you see. And all of them. So our main guy, he is. Dad, I don't remember his name. What's his name? Our main character's name.
I don't remember his name either.
He didn't. I don't think they called him his name very often in the comic. He is a private investigator, and he doesn't want the augmented reality. He wants things to be real, and so
Clear.
his skim or whatever is called Clear. And so the whole thing is working with this woman to figure out what's going on with this rich lady.
Right. What happens is he gets a watch at the end of the first issue, and it says, "I was murdered."
He's trying to
Right.
figure out who murdered.
And did you
murdered.
find out who the woman was?
Yes. Can we spoil
his
everyone? Okay,
Yeah.
you decided to. The woman who died was his wife.
So
Dun dun. Or
I
ex-wife.
can't remember the
I don't know if they were married still.
ex-wife. And so, yeah. So what happens is like nobody wants to see the world for the way it really is.
Because
so
the world
everybody
is-
has these things, and I can't remember the term for them.
I'm Googling
I can't
it.
believe I can't. Yeah,
It's
do
okay.
it.
I'm going to find it.
So like the buildings in real life are extremely dull.
Or
because
ugly
if-
so that they're built so things can be projected on top of it.
Correct. So like, say I want everything to look like a comic book. So when I walk down the street, everything looks comic booky, even people or whatever. And he does not. And he tells this story about a child. Gosh, just to give it away. I don't want to
just-
give it away.
Just give it away. It's
Because-
San Francisco in 2052.
Right. But the things that make you see things differently. What happens is you come to find out that he had a son. He and his wife had a son, and they were in a car wreck. And they hit, there are a lot of robots.
Veil.
Yeah, a veil. Correct. That's what the term is. There are robots everywhere that do the jobs that nobody else wants to do.
There are robots. They're called
And
Works. WRKS.
yes, works, and they don't interact or whatever. And so he was in a car accident where his son died, and there was a works changing a tire on a car, I believe, in the rain.
Mm-hmm.
So the works gets destroyed, and his son ends up dying.
Dies.
And his wife did research or
On
was
shared
working
veiling.
on on being able to share a veil.
Which
with someone
apparently
else.
is bad because if you share a veil, then having that many people believe the same reality causes brain problems.
Exactly. But she was working on trying to fix that so that it could be done. Actually, that's not what she was doing. She was researching the death of her child and found something out that no one else knows and can't be seen because everyone, even if you use a clear veil, it is veiled. I guess the government has done it. Did you think that?
That's what it seemed like because so he goes on this giant hunt and is finding out all of these things. This person with yellow eyeballs who looks like him tries to kill him, and he jumps off of a building or bridge, like the Golden Gate Bridge, and is saved by Widow, who is this black market veiler who works in like black market veils and like shared veils and stuff like that. And she gives him all of this information about like whether or not it's good. Like if you are a spider, is it too much knowledge to know that there's people outside of you that can hurt you? That is it scary to know that there's stuff that's outside of my control that I'm never going to be able to change, I'm never going to be able to fix, that could literally destroy me?
Right. Or is it better off
to live on my web and live the best that you can? And she ultimately just decides, hey, the web has been corrupted that we're living on, and gives him a piece of this red cloth. And so he takes this red cloth and ties it around his face. And she's like, I need you to know that the government has changed what clear is. And clear actually isn't clear. There's things
none of it's clear.
See.
Right.
And it's on purpose.
Right. You come to find. So what happens is.
It's like social stuff that makes people uncomfortable is how she
Yes.
It described it.
Basically what happens is the whole book starts out with a woman who thinks her husband's cheating on her in that way. But she's really a very rich woman whose husband owns a huge server farm, which is how he wants to download his wife's program to launch it to everyone in the
It's called Baxter. The program's called Baxter
which is after their son.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so that's basically what happens, what he finds out, and he then goes to let this loose. And you don't see it being let loose, but you find out that what the world doesn't see when they're veiled is that these robots called works are not robots at all. They're people who have debt and outstanding bills that can't pay, so they're forced to work and do these jobs. And everyone sees them as robots.
They see them as it's like
so they
if
don't
all
care
of the
about
people at the beginning of iRobot, if all of the robots at the beginning of iRobot were indentured servants, were people that were indentured servants.
Yeah.
It's terrifying.
It was. And it was like, I was like, oh my gosh, at the end of this book, I thought.
I was sitting there and I was like, they're people.
I know.
I was screaming. I was not okay about it.
So they didn't hit a robot. They hit a live person. And his wife found that out when she was researching how their son died and was trying to find a way to share that information with the world but she couldn't do it. And she actually she sacrificed herself knowing that her husband
would figure it out.
Her ex-husband would go out and figure it out.
But the end, because wasn't that her or was it the wife of the rich guy?
It was the wife of the rich guy.
Okay, because I thought it was his ex-wife.
No, she's dead.
Okay.
The ex-wife's dead.
Okay.
No. And so they start the program, but you don't, that's how it ends, right? You don't see.
It ends with the son telling a joke.
Yes, which is how it started. Mm-hmm. That's how it started as well. So I really, this is some of Scott Snyder's best work, I think.
It was phenomenal. And again, I'm just saying, they're making the wrong movies and the wrong TV shows. Like this comic book as a TV show. Are you kidding? Like it needs to be like an HBO TV show. but or like I don't.
Yeah,
think
sort of
Disney,
like Station 11.
I don't think Disney Plus could handle it, but
Did 11 or 12 episodes and then it's over.
dude,
It's
like a limited series for this? Are you kidding me? Woo!
Yeah,
Woo!
it would be really cool. It costs a lot of money to make, but yeah.
It reminded
anyway.
me of shoot, I can't remember what it's called. It might be called Altered Carbon on Netflix.
Oh, I haven't watched that.
It is wildly inappropriate. It is for grown-ups.
Gotcha.
But some of the future stuff that happens
Yeah.
matches that.
Yeah. So basically what happens was we lost a war and
it ended
China
badly.
China turned off the missiles, ran them back at us because everything's connected through the interwebs. But anyway, so anyway, guys.
And they wanted to forget. The
Here's
country
what I
wanted
think
to
we
forget.
should watch.
What?
I think we should watch They Live.
They Live. What's that?
They Live is a movie that stars a big-time wrestler called Roddy Piper. And I think nowadays when you go to watch it, I think it makes more sense now than it did back then. Back then, I just thought it was back then when it came out, I thought this is just a really cool sci-fi movie. But I really think that it was trying to tell a political statement
warn
or a
us of
consumer
something.
statement. It's consumerism basically. Roddy Piper would put his glasses on and he would see like
Messages.
a billboard and it would say consume.
Yeah.
And it would say
He put
watch
on sunglasses and it would say, yeah. Is that Soylent Green as people? Is that what that movie is from?
No, it's different. That's Soylent Green.
Oh, okay.
That really was people that's we're eating. Sort of like in what's that movie?
It's a famous
with the
commercial.
train that never stops.
Snowpiercer, it's roaches.
Yeah, there's bugs. Not all roaches.
Oh,
It could be people too.
It was
nasty.
just straight roaches.
I think it was bugs.
The
You
Machine.
think it's all roaches? Yeah, that was a great movie.
That
P.S.
was that's a TV show.
I know. I haven't watched
It's
it.
a TV show on it was on HBO because started rewatching Westworld today and I was like,
Gotcha.
Snowpiercer's a TV show?
Yeah. Well, folks, that's all we got. I liked Clear, and if
I
it
loved
comes out,
Clear.
I will get it.
Yeah.
I did get We Have Demons. That was great too.
We Are.
But I think I like Clear better.
Yeah. The art is different.
It is a detective
Sci-fi.
noir type sci-fi set in the future. Yeah.
It is detective noir.
Very much Blade Runner-ish.
It felt very much, okay, do you know what this is so silly. This is so silly that this is where my brain went to. When they're on the holodeck in Star Trek Next Gen and Data and Picard are doing Sherlock Holmes.
I could tell. No, not Sherlock. See, yes, but Picard plays Diggs.
Picard played yeah.
Yeah, that character. Yeah, exactly.
That's what it was.
Whoopi Goldberg.
Oh yeah, Guinan.
All right.
That's what it was.
Hey,
okay, I'm glad. I'm glad because that's where my brain was. I was like,
very much so.
Where's Picard?
Back to Star Trek. Always comes back to
Everything
Star Trek.
goes back to Star Trek. End
Wrap
roll.
it up.
Hey,
End
pals, thanks for hanging with us for the past hour or so. We're glad that you choose to spend, your finite time with us. We're thankful for that. Hey, our intro music was created and composed by Brockwell Nason. He made all of it himself. Thanks for doing that for us. You can check out his latest single on Spotify or Amazon Music, YouTube, wherever it is you listen to your musics. Our art was created by Nate Turner. He made that in Microsoft Paint with like
And
pixels.
if you share our podcast and let me know, DM me somehow, I'll give you a free pen.
Pen.
Did I do that right?
Pin.
Whatever.
Pin.
Thing that sticks on your lapel.
PIN, not a pen.
Does anybody,
A
what do you
pen
even know what a
is-
lapel is?
This is a pen. This is a lapel.
All right, whatever. Or your uchiqueta.
I edit and upload our podcast. Pops is in charge of our YouTube. Pops, the YouTube. Come
Gotta
on.
get on it. Sorry, guys.
We're just glad for you to spend your time with us.
Yeah. So thank you, people, so much. Thank you, people. Thank yous alls. And so until next time, we will catch you
Catch you on the flippity flop. Bye, sweet friends. Bye.